Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah ta'ala, he makes a very, very important point in his book Al-Fawaid. And he says that there are ignorant people, yantasibun al-ilm, who ascribe themselves to knowledge, who think that the affair is just arbitrary, that there is no cause for guidance or misguidance, that Allah just guides whom He wills and misguides whom He wills, and that a person may be upon righteousness and will have done nothing to justify being misguided, and will go from being from the people of paradise to the people of the hellfire. He said in the text of the Quran, the Sunnah show us the opposite of that. As we've mentioned many times before, that the cause of guidance and misguidance is al-iqbal or al-i'rad, and a person's focus and interest upon the truth, or their disinterest and aversion and turning away from the truth. So if a person is sincere and genuine and so on and so forth, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if they have rusukh, if they are deeply rooted in sincerity and so on and so forth, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not forsake that person. Allah will not forsake that person. This is something that a person knows in their fitrah without having to see from the text. Look at the statement of Khadija radiyallahu anha, the wife of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam when the revelation came down. And she mentioned all of his hasanat and how his history and his pattern of behavior had been. She said, Wallahi la yakhdhuluka Allahu abadan. She swore by Allah that Allah would never forsake the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He's not the type of person that Allah will forsake. So it shouldn't be misunderstood from this narration that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wrongs anybody, or Allah oppresses anybody, or that a person who is genuine and sincere, that they for no reason would just be misguided. But there is always a reason. There is always a reason that is connected to some dasisa, some corruption within them. But at the same time, every person yatahim nafsa. Every person should suspect their lack of sincerity as not being at par and where it should be. Should always fear nifaq and hypocrisy and being disingenuous and that sort of thing for their self, and fear disbelief for their own self. And any intelligent believer is like that. As was said about Abu Idris al-Khawlani, rahimahullah ta'ala, he said, مَا عَلَى ظَهْرِهَا مِنْ أَحَدٍ لَا يَخَافُ عَلَى إِيمَانِهِ أَنْ يَذْهَبَ إِلَى ذَهَبٍ. That there is no person on the face of the earth who doesn't fear losing his faith except that he has lost his faith. And so being afraid for your iman will make you careful. It will make you careful, and it will make you take the necessary means, as we heard, and to have taqwa, and to protect yourself from all that you need protection from. And al-ihtima amma yadurruk bi fa'li ma yanfa'uk, and you protect yourself from what will harm you, and what is more harmful than misguidance, by doing what will benefit you. So it will make a person haris ala al-khayr, it will make a person diligent in the good. He said, I swear by He whom none have a right to be worshipped besides, that one of you will do the actions of the people of the paradise, حَتَّى مَا يَكُونَ بَيْنَهُ وَبَيْنَهَا إِلَّا ذِرَاعًا, until the point that there is nothing between him and it except for a dhira'. That is why there are similar hadith to this that says, فِي مَا يَبْدُو لِلنَّاسِ, and that which is apparent and obvious to people. And from the outside looking in, when other people look at him, that's what they see. That on the outside he is doing the actions of the people of paradise. Until there is nothing, in this hadith, there is nothing in between him and it except for a cubit. And a person will be close to the paradise, فَيَسْبِقُ عَلَيْهِ الْكِتَابِ, and what was written and he pre-decreed will catch up to him, فَيَعْمَلُ بِعَمَلِ أَهْلِ النَّارِ فَيَدْخُلُوهَا, and he will do the actions of the people of the hellfire and thereby enter the hellfire. Allah's refuge sought, وَإِنَّ أَحَدَكُمْ لَيَعْمَلُ بِعَمَلِ أَهْلِ النَّارِ حَتَّى مَا يَكُونَ بَيْنَهُ وَبَيْنَهَا إِلَّا ذِرَاعًا فَيَسْبِقُ عَلَيْهِ الْكِتَابِ فَيَعْمَلُ بِعَمَلِ أَهْلِ الْجَنَّةِ فَيَدْخُلُهَا. And one of you may do the actions of the people of the hellfire till there is only a cubit, an arm's length between he and the hellfire, and then what has been written beforehand catches up to him, and he does the actions of the people of the paradise, and he enters the paradise until he enters the paradise. And so this is the reality of the affair. The reality of the affair is that no person should feel safe for their self, and they should always be diligent and mindful of the manipulation, the tricks and the plots and the snares of the shaitan, and of the weaknesses of their own self. And that, as was stated by Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah ta'ala in his book Ad-Da'u wa-Dawa' al-Jawab al-Kafi liman sa'ala an ad-dawa' al-shafi, In his book, The Disease and Its Cure, Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah ta'ala, he mentions all the various factors that surround a person on a regular basis. Of how the dunya is beautified in his eyes and it is full of temptations. And how what he does know of the religion, he has a hard time recalling and being benefited by at the time that he needs it the most. In times of temptation and fitna and so on and so forth. And how he has a shaitan who is incessant and waging war against him. And all the other factors. He mentions a great number of factors. He said, وَبِهَذَا يُعْلَمْ أنه لا يمسك الإيمان في القلوب إلا الذي يمسك السماوات والأرض أن تزولا. He said, when you look at what is really involved in all that is going against the person and the vulnerability that a person has, then you will know that no one can hold Iman in the heart except for the one who holds the heavens and the earth from moving from their places. The one, Tabarak wa Ta'ala, who keeps the heavens and the earth in its place is the only one who can keep Iman inside of your heart. Is the only one who can keep Iman inside of your heart. So a person, the greatest means that they have is the tawakkul ala Allah ma'al akhdhi bil asbab. They put their trust upon Allah while taking the necessary means to protect themselves